Hello, welcome to day one of the week trial. Now, along with the app and the meal plan and the workouts, every day we're going to cover a learning topic so that should you decide this is the program for you on day one, which is next Monday, you'll feel more comfortable with all the concepts that come along with this 12-week program. So today I wanted to talk to you about macros. This is macros one-on-one. So there are 4 macronutrients. 3 are essential to living, and then 1 is kind of toxic, although quite enjoyable to many, including myself sometimes. All right, so let's talk about those. The 4 macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. You've probably heard of all 3 of those, and all 3 of those are essential to life. And then the 4th macronutrient is alcohol. And it actually is poison, but in moderation, extreme moderation, it's okay for us to consume. And we're going to talk about that and how that lives in the program in a minute. So let's start with protein to begin, shall we? I'm going to always be emphasizing protein. This program is a strength training mission. I want you to build muscle because you will be amazed at what it does for your life, for your physique, for your fitness, for just your overall well-being. Protein is the building blocks to your muscles, but protein is essential for recovery, your immune system. There's so much goodness to protein, but if you don't get enough protein, you're not going to be supporting the muscle recovery in an optimal way. So you will know after a few days with me that there's a good chance you're not eating enough protein yet. So let's talk about good sources of protein. Now, some of us are vegetarians. Can you still do this program? Absolutely, but you will need to be very intentional in finding that protein for you. So I've got chicken and chicken thighs and chicken breasts. Chicken breasts are more lean. There's not as much fat, another macronutrient we'll talk about in a minute. And then chicken thighs, a little bit more flavorful. Ground beef, you can get this, but you need to look at how lean it is. Typically, we're looking for the more lean ground beef. Bison, pork tenderloin, eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein, but did you know that one egg is actually more fat than protein? Enter egg whites. Egg whites, pure protein. Another source of protein, Greek yogurt. This is vanilla Greek yogurt. Plain Greek yogurt is going to have less carbs. We're going to talk about that in a minute. This is Icelandic skyr. It's 15 grams of protein in this little thing. It tastes a lot like yogurt, but a little different in texture. Cottage cheese is a great source of protein. Cheese in general is a great source of protein. This is light, meaning it's lower in fat. What else is it? Oh, and for those of you who have a hard time getting your protein, a protein supplement like a protein powder. Now, this is my favorite protein powder. I drink it nearly every day because it's very fine and it mixes really well. 20 grams of protein. We'll talk about what that means throughout the week, like how much protein. 20 grams is significant. More or less, you're going to be aiming for about your body weight in grams of protein at a cap. So talk with me about how much protein you should be getting, but you'll probably be looking to get about 20 grams or more per meal. So this is a great supplement and it tastes really good. Protein has about 4 calories per gram. So you're going to be eating lots of protein, but you're also going to be building your calories. Let's see here. So next up, we'll talk about carbohydrates. Now, contrary to many diets, carbs are not the enemy. In fact, we will be getting almost an equal amount of carbohydrates as we do protein. The key is you have to limit yourself because carbohydrates that aren't used for energy, that's what carbohydrates are, by the way, it's energy. If you don't use that energy, it goes into your fat storage. So you want to make sure you're not eating excessive carbs, but enough carbohydrates to fuel you. So some good carbohydrates. There's complex carbs and simple carbs. Complex carbs typically have more fiber, and that's going to give you more energy over a longer period of time. So we're usually, instead of like right here, we've got a baguette, right? This is more simple. It's gonna be quick digesting. Even strawberries and berries are pretty quick digesting. And bananas, lots of carbs in a banana, potato. But if you opt for like brown rice, oatmeal, those are gonna keep you fuller longer, and those are all great sources of carbohydrates. Like I said, they're fine, eat your carbs, but if you overeat carbs, it's not a good thing. So you will be finding yourself looking for things lower in carbs so that you don't, overlap into excessive carbs. Some things you'll find are like these CarbWise wraps. These only have 7 net carbs. And what a net carb is when you have a lot of fiber in a food, you can subtract that from the overall carb intake. And so this is awesome. One wrap has 7 carbs. If you're looking for about 25 grams of protein, you're probably gonna get about 25 grams of carbs per meal. Now vegetables have carbs, not a lot of carbs. In fact, vegetables are low in calories for the most part, excluding things like potatoes. So the more vegetables you get, the better off you'll be. All right, let's talk about fat. Fat is good for you. You need fat to burn fat. Fat is good for your brain. Fat makes everything taste better. So some great sources of fat. You may already know there are good fats and bad fats for your body. However, your waistline doesn't know the difference. Fat packs in 9 calories per gram. So you also have to limit that. So where you may get, your hand's worth is typically a serving of carbs, and your palm is typically a serving of protein. Your thumb is a typical serving of fat. So we've got avocados, all natural peanut butter, almonds, olive oil, and kind of like carbs, you wanna make sure you don't go overboard with fats. So you'll be looking for ways you can kind of have, you may be used to cooking all of your vegetables in a bunch of olive oil. Instead, maybe opt for a spray. So fats, peanut butter, and I'll send you like a little cheat sheet of all these things. Peanut butter, avocado, cheeses, oils, and again, you'll typically look for those non-saturated fats versus trans fats or saturated fats, just for good health. Let's see. The 4th macronutrient, which is also somewhat toxic, and that is alcohol. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram, and you don't need it to survive. Now, some moms may disagree. Sometimes a glass of wine takes the edge off. Alcohol will severely get in the way of your progress on this program if you don't limit it. I encourage you to stay under 3 drinks a week. If you have a hard time doing that, then I might say just try cutting it out of your life entirely and see how that changes your progress. It's amazing. For me, when I cut alcohol out of my diet, I'm more motivated, I get better sleep, and I have more progress. I'm more forward focused. This is a decision that you'll have to make for yourself, but if I were to encourage you one way or the other, I would say less is better for you on this program. Also, when following macro-based dieting, you're gonna know, and especially if you're logging food, simple ingredients are gonna make it just easier on you. The less processed foods you have, the more satisfied you'll be, and the healthier they typically are as well, and often easier to log. We're going to talk about logging in the next few days, but these are macronutrients today: protein, carbs, fat, and alcohol. I cannot wait to discuss more of this with you in the coming days. I hope you have a good workout today. Again, this week is grace filled. You do not have to nail it this week, but rather just get your feet wet and see if this is the type of program for you. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's talk about protein real quick because I just realized vegetarians, can you do this program? Absolutely, you can do this program. Tofu has a lot of good protein. Lentils have a lot of good protein. Oh, and where do beans fit on this scale? Well, beans are actually more carbohydrates, but if you're a vegetarian, we're gonna count them more as a protein. We have to be a little bit more lenient for you vegetarians. It's not gonna compromise your progress, I promise. But beans and tofu, and definitely a protein supplement if you allow yourself dairy, Greek yogurt. That's all for now, y'all. I hope you have a great day one, and we will see you tomorrow.